Hello everyone, this is the Complaining Gamer again, and this is a follow-up video to my first one about F1 2010. Now that I've spent some more time with the game, there are a few crucial things which I missed out in my first video, which I will mention in this one. Also, I mentioned in my first video, if people wanted to know more about the multiplayer, then please just request it and I will gladly do it. It was requested, so I will cover that in this video as well as the other game features. Okay, so let's just jump straight into it with the area outside of your trailer. Here we have my F1, and in it you can see it basically stores details of your character, on-screen display, driving controls, etc, etc. I'd like to get straight into an issue which I addressed in the first video, and that was about the destructibility. I have since learned a lot more about that, and I was actually initially wrong with my first impression of the destruction in the game. It is purely difficulty based. Easy and medium, you cannot total the car. Hard and expert, you can. Also, onto the point of the flashback system, it is in place and does work. All you have to do, you can either do it mid-race or obviously if you've had a crash. If you just want to do it for any particular reason, you can press back and then you can just rewind time. Or if you have a crash, it comes up automatically and the typical rewind fast forward features are in place. In terms of how many flashbacks you actually get, a lot like the destructibility, it reflects on the difficulty you're playing on. Easy you have 4, medium 3, hard 2 and expert none. As you can see in the clips I'm showing you, the destructibility is actually fantastic, almost to the point where you could recommend this game to a Destruction Derby fan. I personally had nearly just as much fun crashing into cars as I did the actual racing. One point I do not want to miss out of this update video is the team talk, the talk over the radio. Some of it will have you in stitches as to what your team are saying to you. I'll just show you a few examples.
The telemetry is telling us that you have a front left puncture. Try to nurse the car home.
Try and nurse the car home? I'm missing wheels.
There's some gravel on your tyres. Be aware your tyres.
I love that one. I KO my own teammate, and the biggest concern is the gravel on my tyres.
Just been told you've been given a drive-through penalty for unsportsmanlike behaviour. The stewards thought you were at fault.
You know what? I'll put my hands up. I think that crash might have been my fault. I would just like to make a quick point about the default game differences between hard and expert. On hard, you get medium traction control, and on expert, you get no driving assists. By default, both difficulties also start as manual transmission. Easy and medium obviously have more driving assists and by default are automatic transmissions. If you should so choose to play on easy and use braking assists, you can basically play the game by just holding down the right trigger and cornering. The game will brake for you. I don't imagine many people would want to play like this, but it is an option. I would only recommend this type of gameplay for the absolute beginner or someone that's just feeling lazy. Now I would like to talk about an issue which, in my opinion, is important to certain people, and that is the customizability. In my first video, I said that there isn't actually that much you can do. I was wrong in that case. I've since learned that there is actually quite a bit more you can do. You can customize your car when you are in the garage just before practice qualifying or racing, and there is actually quite a lot you can do to the car, as we're just about to see in a moment. All adjustments are done on the screen in front of you whilst you're sitting in your car.
Alternatively, you can come and see me and I'll set up the car based on your requirements.
So as you can see, you can change things like the aerodynamics, the braking, as well as a host of other features. So like I said before, there is actually a lot more you can do to the car than I initially first thought. There are other features as well, such as the balance, the suspension, as well as the gearbox, the engine and your alignment. And once you've changed all of these settings to suit you and how you want them to be, you can then save the car changes or load up a previous save. Just to go off on a slight tangent for a moment, there is an extra game feature which some people may enjoy where you get interviewed after the race. Now, moving on to another area of your paddock, you have a Grand Prix option, and in there you can pick up to 25 tracks, as well as picking the team you want to race for and the driver you want to be. If you should so choose, you can actually pick the same track 25 times if you have a particular track that you love. I would just like to take this opportunity to show you people the weather effects in the game. This is a big feature of the game, as well as the actual sound of the cars. So I'm just going to shut up for a moment and let you guys watch the rain and the racing. Hopefully that clip gave you all a good idea of the rain weather effect, which I personally think is done extremely well. Also, hopefully you people were listening to the actual cars to give you a good idea of the actual sounds. Next, I would like to talk about time trial, leaderboards, and I'm going to finish on a small section of multiplayer. Just a reminder, a lot of the features I've spoken about are located in the paddock area just outside of your trailer. Okay, so let's talk the time trial mode. In it, a lot like the certain other Codemaster titles, you can pick any 4 ghosts that you then download and then race against. If you should so choose, they could be the top 4 in the world, but I don't particularly recommend it as you haven't got a chance. In time trial, you can pick any track you want, as well as any car you want to do it in. Let's skip to some gameplay where I'll give you people an idea of what it looks like with the ghosts and just doing the laps themselves. Now onto multiplayer. A lot like time trial, you have leaderboards. You have leaderboards for time trial as well as leaderboards for multiplayer. If we are to talk local multiplayer, the only option I could find was system link, as in connecting 2 separate boxes. So in that sense you can do that, but I do not believe you can have 2 people on the same Xbox. You can obviously have party sessions, but I believe that is the limit. And obviously you can play across Xbox Live with your friends, against your friends, and against the world. Let's talk about actually navigating the multiplayer menu. There are a few select game modes. It's very simple. You pick one, you choose find race, and it puts you into a lobby. Once that lobby reaches a certain amount of players, the game starts. It's very simple, very easy to use, very fluid, and I wouldn't expect anyone to have too many difficulties with it. Now onto what is for some the most important part of any game, and that is the actual multiplayer experience. The racing itself, it felt a lot like the actual career, except you're doing it online. I didn't notice any sort of lag or any of those typical issues that can completely ruin an online experience. In fact, in some of the races that I've done, the game does boast a host migration feature where if the host of the lobby leaves, a new host is picked. However, I've never seen it done as fluidly as it is in this game. Absolutely, there is no blip, nothing happens. The race doesn't stop, it doesn't pause. It is a completely seamless change of host, which I've never actually seen executed properly before, except in this game. I've actually got footage of that happening, so I can show you that taking place. Whilst you're in a lobby, you can change the driving assists as to how you want them to be for you. Now, coming up, I would just like to point out the host migration and how it is absolutely seamless during a race. As you can see, absolutely no blip, nothing happened, and I've never seen that before in the way that other games migrate the host. We are now coming to the end of this video. I've been the Complaining Gamer, and this has been an update review for Codemasters F1 2010. I hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free that if you wish to suggest any game you want me to review, please let me know. I'll gladly do it. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to comment, rate and subscribe, and don't forget to check out my channel and the other videos on there. And thank you for watching.